Well, that was an absolutely terrible game for the Toronto Raptors as they play a very solid first half and then fall apart and lose 113-99 to the New Orleans Pelicans and fall in game 1 of the regular season. That was bad. Like, there's no beating around the bush. They played a really good first half, in the first quarter trying to feel things out, but in the end, you had a 3-point lead after one. I think it was 3 or 4 point lead after one quarter of play. Hey, that's all right. I'll take that. Second quarter, feeling all right again, kind of feeling things out a little bit, but you're up by 6 at halftime. All right. Even though you're not playing the greatest, you're feeling everything out, and you got the lead at halftime. They go out there in that third quarter, and they lay an egg. They miss a bunch of shots. They don't play defense. They turn the ball over. It looked like a schoolyard game out there. It was terrible. It was absolutely awful. I don't know what I understand. Look, guys, I understand it's game 1 of this season. I understand that part. All right, I truly do. But that better not be the Toronto Raptors we're going to see this year. Because there were so many bad things to take from a game like this. Norman Powell taking a free throw late in this ball game, and basically just kind of going like this, like, ugh, whatever. Like you don't want to be there? Really? That type of attitude? No, Raptor fans, Toronto fans, Canadian fans, No. We don't take too kind to people who act like that. We don't. And you look at Kyle Lowry, right? On the bench in the timeout, knocking a chair over. He is visibly angry. And I don't blame him. Let's break this down, okay? First quarter, like I said, they looked great. Pascal showed early in the game, as I said in that final preseason game, he's been shooting the three really well. He looked really solid early on. And at halftime, Pascal had 12. He made 3 threes, and we're like, okay, Pascal's really finding himself. But in that second half, he had 8 points. He didn't make threes. He had a few shots, close. I think he made a couple mid-range shots and a couple in the paint, layups off the backboard. That's great. That's great Pascal stuff. And he ended the game with 20. I'm not going to harp on him for getting 20 points. How can I do that? He shot shade under 50%. You can't be mad at Pascal for the game he had today. Absolutely not. OG, Fred, Norm, oh yeah, they were bad. Those 3 guys, well, especially OG and Fred, literally just got paid this offseason. And they lay an absolute goose egg in today's game. Fred was bad. He was pretty bad. OG couldn't make a wide open 3 to save his life. Literally didn't make a 3. It was 0 of 5. The only points he had, if I'm not mistaken, were dunks alone. That's it. It was not pretty, guys. It really wasn't. But I look at a game like this, I'm like, okay, it's game 1 of the year. You have to find a way to take some positives out of a negative, okay? Let's try it. Aaron Baines, I thought he looked really good. I honestly thought Aaron Baines looked really solid out there. I thought he looked fantastic. He didn't look out of place. On the defensive end, he was spectacular. He at least took 1 charge. I don't know how many shots he contested that made really tough, and they were missed shots in that time. And he made some shots. I think he had 11 points and 9 boards. Did a really good job against Steven Adams, a guy who's a really broody guy. Like, Steven Adams is an absolute beast. And Aaron Baines held his own, did a really good job. I've always compared Aaron Baines to kind of like a Marc Gasol 2.0, but with more offensive upside. Which I'm fine with. But what you can't expect out of a guy like Aaron Baines is the type of stuff that Serge Ibaka gave us. You can't expect that. You can't expect him to go out there every single night and drop 20 and 10. Or at least it felt like Serge did that every single game. You can't expect that from a guy like Aaron Baines. What he did today, the 11 and 9, with good defense, that's what you're going to get from Aaron Baines. And I'm totally okay with that. But your role players got to do a job. Your bench, your bench guys. When I mean by role players, I'm talking about OG and not your main guys like Lowry, Siakam, and you can even throw Fred into that mix, who wasn't good. Norman Powell was terrible, as we mentioned. But a guy like Matt Thomas, and this is something that Nick Nurse, I want him to screw into his brain a little bit. When something's not working, you don't keep doing it. It's game one of the year. I understand you don't want to go too crazy, you want to overreact. But in a game like this where Norman Powell cannot make a shot for his life, he's looking visibly angry with what's going on out there. And Matt Thomas is playing extremely confident, knocks down threes. I think he had 3 threes in the ballgame, playing really well. His rear end is on the bench the entire fourth quarter. That can't happen. It just can't happen that way. When you need buckets, you put out a guy who is hot and is getting buckets. You don't keep out your cold lineup because, oh, they're my guys. No. Coach, you play the game. It may sound stupid. Well, of course you're playing the game. No. Listen to it. You play, right? Your coaching style plays with that specific game. You start the way you start. That's fine. I'm okay with having the starting 5, all 72 games. That's fine. But you play within that game. Why did the Raptors win against Milwaukee back in the 2019 season? They started the game with Danny Green. That was their guy. But he had a terrible series. He was not making shots. So, you keep him out there for a bit. How's he doing? Not good? Okay, there's the hook, and you don't see the rest of the game. And look what happens. You bring in Fred catches fire, and then, just like that, you win a lot of ball games. You win the next 4. You're on to the NBA Finals, and you win. Today, those guys, OG, Fred, making the big money, weren't playing well. Matt Thomas was playing really well and was on the bench. That can't happen. If you're trying to win games, and this guy right here is pouring his heart out every single night. He was out there taking charge today, going in, driving on 4 different guys to get a foul and to make something happen. But when you're not getting any help, it's difficult. So I look at today's game as as I'm trying to look at it as it's the first game of the year. I'm trying. It's not easy though because of the way that game played out. If it was a back and forth, hard-fought game all the way to the finish, but you lose, that's fine. But you were playing pretty well at the first half. You were leading after the first half, and you downright collapsed and died there in that second half. That's the part that worries me. Now, it is the first game of the year, so fatigue is a thing, but they didn't have fatigue. They didn't have that. The Pelicans came out with a second burst there in the second half. So what happened to that first game of the year jitters or first game of the year tiredness? Well, they should have it too, right? Well, they had a little bit of time off more than the Raptors because they didn't play Don't give me that. It's game 1 of the season. Maybe game 50 when they played that last. Maybe. But game 1? You've just played 3 preseason games. You haven't played in like 4 days, 5 days, whatever it was. So there's no excuse there. They didn't play well today. It's plain and simple. Now, if they go out there in game 2 against the Spurs on Saturday night on Boxing Day and play a really solid game, come away with the victory, all right, the mentality might change a little bit. But what we have seen from these 4, I guess technically 4 games, is that the Raptors in the first half and the second half played totally. They've not played a full 48. You look at against the Charlotte Hornets. The first 2 games, you played a horrendous first half. But a great second half, and you won those games. Miami, you played a pretty good first half, hung in there, we're doing all right. Second half, flat out died, and that was it. You lost that game. What happened today? Great first half. Second half, you lost. You had to play a full 48 or at least 3 quarters. They didn't do that. You got to find a way. And you need guys to step up and say, hey, I'm going to take that lead today. I'm going to make it happen today. I'm going to help us get that dub today. You didn't get that today. Nobody wanted that win. And look, that's the hard thing to say because they all want to win, of course. But nobody really wanted that win to take that game over. And it didn't happen today. But it happens sometimes. And I'd rather happen in game 1 of the season than round 1 of the playoffs, right? So I prefer that, of course, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and joined the live stream and enjoyed that a little bit, smack that like button to appreciate that. I really appreciate anybody who was on the live stream at all. I really do appreciate you guys watching that. It was a lot of fun for me to do that and answer you guys' questions. It was and interact with you guys. That's why I love to do that, to interact with all of you, all right? Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram page is down below. So if you have not followed the Instagram page already, please go do so. And I will talk to you guys, Raptors edition, game 2 of the season, Saturday night, Boxing Day. Hey, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Be safe. Enjoy your food. Enjoy being with your families in this crazy, crazy time right now. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. And I will talk to you guys on Saturday night, Boxing Day, as Raptors take on the Spurs in Game 2 of the regular season. 8:30 tip-off in San Antonio. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.